New boss took credit for my work, so I let him hang himself with it. I work in a mid-sized tech firm doing back-end infrastructure. I'm not flashy, but I get things done. Been here for years. And until recently, my manager was someone who understood that. Unfortunately, he retired, and in came Chad. Not his real name, but it fits. Chad is all teeth and sales pitch. Zero technical know-how. But he's restructuring our team to meet dynamic benchmarks. Or some other LinkedIn word salad. First few weeks, he played nice. Asked me to brief him on the new infrastructure overhaul. I'd been building for 6 months. I gave him the rundown, full documentation, timelines, budget tracking, and the roadmap for launch. He nodded a lot, didn't understand a word. Then things got weird. He started holding meetings without me. I'd find out later he was pitching my project to senior leadership as his initiative. Even used my slides, just slapped his name on them. At first, I thought maybe it was a mistake. Then I saw him in an all hands call getting praise for visionary systems optimization. I damn near broke my keyboard. I confronted him. He gave me that team player crap and said, "We succeed as a group." Yeah, except when only one name goes on the recognition memo. At this point, I knew I had to play it smart. Petty revenge wasn't going to cut it. I needed him to crash and burn with the very work he stole. So I started documenting every meeting he excluded me from, every commit I made to our code base, every Slack message where he claimed ownership, all backed up privately. Then I did something that I'll admit was a little evil. I slowly started rolling out the final phase of the project, but in a way only someone familiar with the back end would understand. I set up a complex deployment pipeline that looked clean and polished, but required manual overrides at two key points. I also added deep logging that would catch every action tied to a specific user. Think digital breadcrumbs. Then I called in a favor from a former coworker who now worked in the CTO's office. I casually mentioned that Chad's big project was about to go live, and they might want to audit it since it would touch client-facing systems. Cue a surprise executive review. Chad panicked, told me to finish the deployment solo. I smiled, nodded, and said sure. After all, it was his project. He insisted he could handle it to show leadership he could own deliverables. So I gave him a button to push. A single button, labeled Deploy to Prod. He pushed it, and everything looked fine. For a day. But remember those manual overrides? One of them controlled how user data was indexed. Without the override, the system defaulted to test mode. All new user data was saved, but couldn't be retrieved. Clients started calling. Accounts went missing. Support lit up. Chad blamed legacy systems. Meanwhile, I sat quietly with my logs, sipping coffee. Like and subscribe for part